Prime Minister and Mrs. Major, distinguished guests, students, parents and colleagues, governors and friends of the college. It is with enormous pride that I welcome you here today for the official opening. Prime Minister, I think I'm right in saying that this is your first visit to a CTC. We are delighted that you have chosen to come first to Harris. It's yet another first for Harris. In preparing for this major event, we have all been subjected to a great deal of harassment. I am, of course, referring to Sir Philip and Lady Harris, Susan, Charles, Peter and Martin. Through their incredibly generous sponsorship and also through their day-to-day involvement in the life of the college, we have learnt a new meaning for the word harassed. Also for the word carpeted. As you will see from the magnificent new flooring donated by Sir Philip throughout the college, which helps so much to produce a humane environment. I would particularly like to pay tribute to Lady Harris for her dedicated work in putting our dyslexia centre on the right road. Thank you very much. Our thanks also to David and Hannah Lewis, our co-sponsors, who are taking a very close interest in the development of our Lewis Sports and Leisure Centre and have recently donated an additional £25,000 to upgrade the shower facilities. Thank you both very much indeed. Prime Minister, despite banner headlines in the national press like "Big firms give city technology colleges the cold shoulder," this is just not true at Harris CTC, where large and successful companies, some of them PLC, are continuing to come forward to support us, as you will see from the sponsors board in the foyer. We are extremely grateful to all our sponsors, many of whom are here today. Thank you very much. Phil Harris is a tremendous practical joker. You will have seen our Centre of Excellence board at the main gates. I well remember the day before we opened last September, Phil, when you asked me to check that you'd got my home telephone number correct on the board. The joke has a serious side for me. Every day when I drive past the sign, I am reminded of my obligation to provide a high-quality service for our students and parents, who are our clients. Without you, students and parents, there would be no college. Thanks to the business contacts of Sir Philip and David Lewis, our Board of Governors is made up largely of industrialists. This has already resulted in our work having a sharp commercial focus and the adoption of practices more akin to the world of industry than that of education, with myself responding more readily now to the title of Chief Executive rather than Head Teacher. My personal thanks to all our governors for their encouragement during what has been an exciting and exacting 10 months. Thank you, governors. My thanks too to the many consultants who have helped set us up, ably led by our project director, Neil Ransom, who deserves a special mention. I would also like to thank our friends here today who work in local authorities. Yes, we do still have some LEA friends, quite a lot actually. I'm delighted to welcome Sir Peter Bonus, the leader of Croydon Council, also his Chairman of Education Committee, Director of Education and senior officers, with whom we have been working closely over the last 10 months. Also, I'm delighted to say head teachers from Bromley and Lambeth. CTCs can fulfil an important and legitimate role in the national jigsaw of education and training as a research and development testbed for state education, working in partnership with LEAs and local secondary schools rather than competing with them. In order to work on the leading edge, you need dedicated and highly qualified teachers and support staff. I couldn't wish for a more dedicated team than I have here at Harris. Thank you very much to all my colleagues. And particular congratulations to our 10 probationers who, I'm delighted to say, completed satisfactorily, all of them, their probation on Monday. Well done, all of you. Finally, I would like to mention yet another first at Harris. We are one of 4 CTCs piloting the new Technological Baccalaureate for 14 to 18-year-old students, which we have developed in partnership with the City and Guilds. Our press launch closely followed on the heels, Prime Minister, of the presentation of your own government white paper on May the 20th, aimed at increasing participation in education and training by 16 to 18-year-olds. The tech back we are piloting aims to bridge the gap between the so-called academic and vocational routes post-16 to further training, higher education and jobs. We are eager to prove its worth in radically improving the dismal 30% staying on rates post-16 in Britain. We are heartily fed up with being compared unfavourably with Japan, USA and the continent. We are confident that with the tech back, we have developed a framework which will encourage all our students to stay at Harris until 18 and beyond, thereby equipping them fully for adult life and work in the 21st century. May I now ask our Year 7 students to sing One Moment in Time, after which, Prime Minister, I invite you to address us and perform the official opening ceremony. Thank you.
Well, that was lovely. I think we should perhaps have some more songs and fewer speeches. I would like to congratulate the soloists and the choir. That was an absolutely splendid performance. And it did seem to me there was one line that came through and struck me particularly when you sang it. The answers, it said, the answers are all up to me. And in terms of everyone's own individual endeavour, I do believe that is true. Nobody, particularly if I may say so, none of the pupils here today should believe anything other than that. What is there to be achieved in the future for you, and in future your families and your friends, is up to you. And it's here I hope that you will lay the groundwork and the basics to actually achieve those particular ambitions. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity of sharing with you today the opening of this absolutely splendid school. It is my first visit to a city technology college. Clearly it was overdue. Even in a very brief tour of the college, there's been ample opportunity for me to be very impressed both at what I've seen, but also at the enthusiasm, at the atmosphere, in the belief that is here about what is happening here. And all that is very encouraging, and it's a great privilege for a few moments to share the enthusiasm of being part of what I believe is a very significant innovation indeed in our education. you into a secret that isn't actually much of a secret. I much enjoyed school many years ago, and to be frank, I couldn't wait to leave it. It didn't seem at the time to be offering me a great deal, and in many ways the education there and the education system generally seemed fairly repressive then to me, more of a straitjacket than an opportunity. Now happily that has changed, and I think at the moment it is changing more rapidly than it has done for very many years in the past. The purpose of education is not just, it seems to me, to teach people to add up 2 and 2 and make 4 rather than 22. But it is to equip people in each and every aspect, to enable them to be able to fulfill their own ambitions in later life. And from what I have read about your college, and from what I've seen of it today, I believe the scope and activities and disciplines and self-disciplines of the CTC will help you to do that far more ably than many people may perhaps realise at the present moment. I've had all too brief an opportunity to see just a little of the range that's available: technology, arts, computers. The emphasis so critical for all our futures of science and technology. But it isn't just a matter, I think, of the individual ambitions of all the pupils who are here and who will be here in the future. Of course it is about that. But it is, I think, about a little more than that as well. Because each individual person who succeeds and achieves their own ambitions in their own interests and in the interests of their own families add up to achieve the ambitions of the country as a whole as well. Because our future in this country depends not just on what is done by a few captains of industry or a few leading scientists or technologists or politicians. Our future predominantly depends on the skills that you're learning here and that other young people throughout the country are learning in their education as well. The success of your future, based upon what you learn here, will determine the success of our future generally as a country as well. For it is a competitive world into which people go when they leave the education system, more competitive perhaps today than ever it has been before. And upon the success of that competition will depend the success of our country and the individual living standards and security of everyone who will live in it in the future. Now here in this CTC, as you reach very nearly the end of your first year, there is an enormous amount that you can look back on with a considerable degree of pride. Impressive standards of work and discipline. Like the other city technology colleges, a rather longer school day of the year than elsewhere in the education system. Performance targets agreed to raise standards still further. Prize-giving evenings and certificates profiling performance both in and out of the classroom. And I have been particularly impressed in the briefing that I have been given about this college, particularly impressed by the programs which the students have devised to achieve their targets on mutual respect between students and staff. And it did occur to me when I saw a little more of that this morning that perhaps we could learn something of that and I could encourage some of my parliamentary colleagues to indulge in a similar program. And then attendance at around 90%. Of course, attendance should be 90%, even higher perhaps. But what a considerable contrast it is to the average of only 75% last year before the school became a CTC. Truancy declining and attendance rising is something else I believe you can be very proud of. And also, I think, perhaps one of the clearest signs of success. Not only are you here finding it worthwhile, but many other students want to come here and join you. 650 applications for the 180 places available from this September. And that compared to only 50 first-choice applications before you became a CTC. And not only before you became a CTC, before I got hay fever, which you can hear is around this morning. So this City Technology College is a success. a success that reflects the spirit of cooperation and partnership which is so evident in every part of the school. I believe that is characteristic not just of this school, certainly of this school, but not just of that, but of the CTC programme as a whole. Because together, the government and the sponsors, in partnership, are establishing 15 colleges like yours across the country. And I would like to pay a very special and a very warm tribute to Philip and Pauline Harris, to David Lewis, and to the other sponsors. They have together contributed the very remarkable sum of £1.75 million of support to this college. Not only that, but they continue to play a very active role, for I know that Philip is a very regular visitor here. And I think that is not just a remarkable tribute to them, it is a remarkable tribute to what they believe you can achieve in this college. And the greatest reward for them, I believe, will to be seeing you achieve it, as you clearly are now beginning to do. But this CTC illustrates other things as well. It illustrates the benefits of partnership with the local education authority. I'm absolutely delighted to see representatives of Croydon Education Authority here today. Their support is of very great value, and I could only regret in saying that other local authorities within your catchment area have not reacted quite so positively yet, but I hope in due course they will. Because all of us in the education system want to see excellence above all things. And I believe in this CTC you are achieving excellence. I believe other people will see that, and they will want to ensure that that excellence is firstly maintained here, but secondly is spread elsewhere. And whatever the education authorities may have said in some areas, the teachers in other areas often have a different view. For I know that teachers from other authorities that perhaps do not approve of CTCs have taken matters in their own hands and contacted your school. Frankly, I applaud their action in doing so, and I hope it will lead others to see sense. Each and every one of the CTCs are pioneers. But I am delighted that this CTC, the Harris CTC, is pioneering in two areas in particular. Firstly, the Dyslexia Centre. It's a dyslexia centre partly funded by grant from the Department of Education and Science. CTCs are about offering a first-class education to every boy and girl, and dealing with this long-standing but often ignored problem of dyslexia is a further indication that this CTC is determined to provide an excellent education for everyone, even those facing this particular difficulty. And then secondly, there's the carrying out of a pilot technological baccalaureate scheme. It is absolutely vital for our future that we find ways of enhancing the vocational content of education. And the tech bac you have here combines both the vocational and the academic. It deserves to be an enormous success, and I believe myself that it will prove to be so. Just a few moments ago, the choir sung beautifully, as I mentioned a moment ago, a song, One Moment in Time. Well, this is a special moment in time. It is the moment in which the Harris Technology Centre officially becomes open. It's a moment in which the opening of this helps to endorse a new experiment in education that I believe will prove immensely successful and pioneer improvements in education that we will wish to see spread very widely to everyone who enjoys our educational system. So it is a very special moment in time, and it gives me the very greatest of personal pleasure to declare the Harris City Technology College officially open.
This is where I get my own back on Sir Phil. It's with great pleasure that I invite Sir Philip Harris, our main sponsor and our Chairman of Governors, to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the school. Sir Phil.
Prime Minister, Mrs. Major, Principal, ladies and gentlemen, and all students of Harris College, I welcome you here today. This is another great day for our college. Prime Minister, I'd like to thank you personally for spending so much time with us today. It's a great honour to have you here and Mrs. Major with us. We know how short your time is, and to spend over an hour and a half with us is fantastic. And I know when you leave here, you're going to make another speech on education. We look forward to hearing it. I'd also like to welcome here today Peter Jenkins, our new principal of Peckham CTC, our sister college which opens in Bermondsey in September of this year. Peter, we wish you every success. I'd like to thank everyone, too many to mention individually, who have helped to make this college possible over the last 3 years. Thank you to all of you. Fundraising is very important to our college, and where the Prime Minister said we've raised this year 1.75 million, I'm very pleased to announce we're very nearly £2 million we've raised. We've raised 1.95 million, and I'd like to thank all our sponsors for doing so. I'd also like to thank, or propose a thanks when they've done it. We've linked with industry, and we've got 10 speakers from industry for next year for our 5th and 6th forms. We much appreciate them for coming to give these speeches. Also, I'd like to thank David Lewis. David, you've been a power of strength to me. Not only have you helped with money, which is important, you've helped with time. And I consider time as important as money. Thank you very much, David. Lyndon Jones, our principal, thank you for all the hard work and leadership in this college. Without you, we couldn't have done it. Thank you. Teachers and support staff, thank you for all your hard work in making the college so successful. I'd also like to thank the governors for supporting me. We had lots of, 2 late meetings, went nearly up to midnight, October and November, when we had a few problems. I hope they all think it's worthwhile now, but thank you for supporting me. And head boy, head girl, the Dean and Sam, thank you. You being a centre of excellence, we will have a hard job to replace you, and we thank you for all the work and time you put in, and we also have great pleasure of meeting you all at the government meeting. Thank you. To the friends of Harris, I'd like to say thank you. You've worked very hard, and I must thank you for all the time and effort you put in, especially the 3 parent evenings. Thank you to all of you. Prime Minister, before I finish, I'd like to tell you about some of the achievements during the first year of which we are very proud. You mentioned in your speech the attendance went up to 90%. We're proud of that. Students, we got a goal next year. It's 92.5%. And with the help of the teachers and the parents, that's what we're going to achieve. A large number of students have been attending enrichment time, and we're very pleased with that. I hear from your parents that they're very pleased, and you're very pleased with those activities. We budgeted our canteen this year to supply 350 meals a day. You must be enjoying that. Our canteen, 650 average this year, meals were served through our canteen. The standard of behaviour of our students, discipline and hard work has raised beyond measure due to the relationship between teachers, the students, students and the parents. And it is very important that we have the involvement of the parents with us. But it's really raised beyond measure. We're very pleased with all of it. The Dyslexic Centre was opened in May of this year, as you all know, and that's been successful. And I'd like to thank Duncan Goodhue for opening it. I'd also like to thank the DES, for giving us £250,000 over 3 years. Thank you. The three evenings of achievements. I came to 2 of them, and my wife Pauline came to 1 of them. I was away. I must say they were well organised, and you all did very well, and I enjoyed all of it. I must say I enjoyed meeting your parents as well. The excitement of them of coming to this college. It was a fantastic 2 evenings I went to, and Pauline tells me the 3rd evening was the same. In the first year, year 7, we had 165 parents turn up. In year 8, we had just about 100 people turn up, parents turn up. And in year 9 and 10, 120. That was nearly 400 parents. That's a bit different than the year before, when barely 40 parents turned up. We're very pleased with the involvement of the parents. Prime Minister, I'd like to tell you about 3 short stories about this college, which I will never forget. The first one, I walked around the college talking to the pupils. The first one was about last October. I met a young girl, I was asked her about the college, and I said to her, "What do you think of the school uniform?" She said to me, "It's a bit bright." I thought, oh, we've got troubles here. She then turned around and said to me, "But it's exciting being here. When I leave this college, other people come up to me from other schools, other parents, and ask me about it." She said, "It takes half an hour telling them how exciting it is being here." That was fantastic. The second story, Pauline and I were walking around the college, and as most of you know, I asked you if you're enjoying yourself here, and is there anything else we can do for you? And these 2 boys said, "Please, sir, can we go into rowing? Can you help us with rowing?" And I said, "Yes, I will speak to the principal about it. We have a big lake opposite here, as you know, and I have spoken to the principal about doing rowing next year." They walked away from me, and we took 2 steps, 5 yards, 6 yards apart, and they turned around and they said, "Sir, thank you for making this college safe." Can you imagine students thanking us for making the college safe? The third story is in the Dyslexic Centre. I went there in May, just after it was opened, and I met Deborah Hart, and she was teaching a young pupil in there. And I went through the story, "Are you enjoying it here?" "Yes." "Is there anything I can do to help? Is there any more you want us to do as governors?" He said, "Please, sir, can you teach us? Can you teach me how to read?" 3 things I will never forget. But let's think about it. Excitement for being at the college, making the college safe, and teaching. It's all down to our teaching staff. Thank you to our staff. Last October, we had an open day here for our new intakes. We had 2,000 people turn up, and the whole of Norwood was brought to a halt. You can imagine, did we cater for 2,000 people turning up? Did we cater for 2,000 parents? No. But we dealt with it. We had 650 applicants for our 180 places. Prime Minister, we had to deal with the unsuccessful parents. That means, Prime Minister, we need more CTC schools. You're probably all aware, it's very important, and I've always said that money is one thing, but staff and teachers and working together as a team, which is very important. And this college is about teamwork. And I'm very pleased to announce the teaching staff, we're going to keep 85% of them on for the whole of next year. We're proud of that, and we hope to improve that over the next few years. But we're very proud that 85% of our teachers will be here next year, so you'll be having the same teachers to help you. Thank you. Prime Minister, our aims for the college are that our students, when they leave Harris, between 16 and 18, and we hope most of you to stay till you're 18, they go with the best education possible. be successful, and they enjoy that. Prime Minister, we know you like cricket, and I've got a small gift for you today. If I could just go down and get it. This is, Prime Minister, this is the centenary test of 1980 at Lord's between England and Australia. It's signed by all the players. I hope in 11 years' time you look at this bat, look at these names, these famous names, great cricketers, and you'll remember the day that you voted a great college.
Targets for the summer term, Prime Minister, is respect. Respect for others and remembrance of others, just as we remembered Catherine. We have a cheque from the school which has been raised in the last 3 weeks that is going to be presented to Bromley Hospice by John Garlick, Faculty Director, and is going to be received, please, by Lady Harris. A cheque from the school for £1,000 to Bromley Hospice. Well done, everybody. No, Prime Minister, this isn't a football cup, and no, it doesn't have your team's colours on it. What it is the John Major Perpetual Challenge Trophy that is about to be awarded to the student who has contributed most in 1990-91 to the life of the college. I don't think anybody knows who it is. It's Samantha Baker, age 9B. And now we have a number of presentations just before our VIPs leave. Could we bring the card on, please? A small token of our thanks to the Prime Minister. Just a little card. Not that. The little one. Bring the little one on. You turn it to show everybody, first of all. Show our visitors. Show them. Lift it up and show them. There we are. We are promising just a little. And a card also for Mrs. Major that's been made by our art students. And flowers, please. And finally, some flowers for our platform party. Philip. Thank you, Prime Minister and Mrs. Major, for giving so much of your time. I know that you have to be on your way, and we look forward to hearing your speech from the Café Royal later in the day. Would you all stand, please, for our platform party? Okay, sure.